This is the subject artifact. This is a picture of it. Physically, as you can see, it is a large square block of limestone with a honed, shallow, rounded seat on top and a circular hole in the center. The artifact was discovered in a small 4.5-foot room embedded in a plaster floor above an 8-foot plaster-lined cesspool. Can you guess what it is? This is an ancient toilet. But not just any ancient toilet, as we will soon find out. The artifact was found in what is called the House of Ahiel, located in the northeastern slope of the city of David. The city of David, as referenced, is believed to be the biblical Jerusalem. That is the holiest city in the Old Testament and the ancestral spiritual homeland of the Jewish people since the 10th century BC. Therefore, the city of David is one of Israel's most excavated archaeological sites and one of the first to be excavated. From 1978 to 1985, Professor Yigal Shiloh from the Institute of Archaeology of the Hebrew University in Jerusalem led one of the most extensive excavations of the city of David. This excavation reopened the underground water system, for example, Warren Shaft, Hezekiah's Tunnel, and the large stone support wall discovered on the eastern slope of the city of David. Near the top of that slope, in an area named Area G, which you can see located on this map, Shiloh continued to expose the large support wall and discovered adjacent to the wall residential homes. Residential homes from the First Temple period, which the House of Ahiel is one of them. Excavations of the remains of the First Temple period homes revealed internal staircases, remnants of a burnt wooden furniture imported from far away, and then the subject artifact, which is the toilet. Collectively, these discoveries led Shiloh and other archaeologists to conclude that these were houses of the wealthy, possibly even part of the royal neighborhood of biblical Jerusalem. One of the reasons is that the presence of a toilet offers one of the most prominent clues of wealth. A toilet from this era is, one, rare. It is found in only a few locations in Israel and Jerusalem. Only 2 other toilets of this type have been found from this particular time period in Israel, and both of them were found in the city of David. Further, the House of Ahiel's toilet is the only one identified as someone's private bathroom. Interestingly, even the Talmud discusses 1,000 years later the criterion for a rich person: if they had a toilet in their home near the table where they sit to eat, they were a rich person. A further noteworthy and interesting discovery was the excavation revealed that the entire neighborhood was found demolished. It was buried under rubble of rocks within thick layers of ash, and evidence that the homes, including the House of Ahiel, were destroyed by an intense fire. There was smashed pottery throughout the neighborhood, including a smashed piece of pottery found in the same house as the toilet artifact with the inscription Ahiel, after which the house was named. In another building next door to the House of Ahiel, several bullae, which are these clay seal impressions, were found with Hebrew names, including 3 names mentioned in the book of Jeremiah. Additionally, Shiloh and his team of archaeologists discovered a mix of arrowheads throughout the neighborhood. More precisely, they were Babylonian and Judean arrowheads. For Shiloh and these other archaeologists, this is evidence that this site was a battlefield. Shiloh dated the discoveries to 586 BC. That is when King Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians' army invaded Jerusalem, meaning that the toilet testified to the homeowner's wealth. The other accompanying evidence testified that this site was the final struggles of Jerusalem against the invading Babylonian army, who burned the city in the First Temple. This is an amazing discovery. And since the excavations found one of the oldest toilets ever discovered, dating back approximately 2,600 years ago to the last days of the First Temple period, there was definite interest to see if the toilet could reveal other exciting and notable information. More specifically, we can learn of the people's diet of Jerusalem's last days during the Babylonian siege. They were curious about this. Using a multidisciplinary approach called palynology, which is the study of pollen, and archaeoparasitology, which is the study of parasites, they partially reconstructed the diet of the city of David dwellers during the time by analyzing the remains of the human feces that was found in the toilet cesspit. If you recall, this is below this toilet, which was embedded in a plaster-lined floor, was an 8-foot plaster-lined cesspit that held the waste. That's what they examined. They learned from this analysis that the last people living in Jerusalem at that time were eating weeds and suffering from tapeworms from eating raw meat. The question then becomes, why would anyone choose to eat raw meat and weeds? Well, we can look to the Bible. 2 Kings chapter 25, verse 1 through 3, which describes what occurred. And in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, on the 10th day of the month, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came with all his army against Jerusalem and laid siege to it. They built siege works against it all around. So the city was besieged until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. On the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine became so severe in the city that there was no food for the people of the land to eat. The answer becomes very apparent now at this point. The people of the land, the same people to which the toilet belonged, did not choose to eat weeds and raw meat. This was all that was available during the siege of Jerusalem by the Babylonians. They could not go out into their fields for produce, which is outside the walls, because the Babylonian army was stationed outside. Therefore, they were forced to eat whatever they could find within the city walls. Eventually, nothing would be left but weeds growing within the city. Additionally, no wood was left to cook the meat. Why? Because the wood would have been needed and utilized for weapons and fortification. So therefore, on the eve of the destruction of the Babylonian siege, the people in the residence of the house of Ahiel, where the toilet was found, were literally starving. No archaeological site attests to and has revealed more about ancient Jerusalem's history than the city of David. In addition to that, this house of Ahiel's toilet is one of its prominent artifacts. And although it's not housed in a museum today, this artifact is part of an active archaeological site that is a modern tourist attraction where one can walk, see, and learn about a combination of archaeology, history, and the Bible, as well as the house of Ahiel and the toilet that is still sitting in its original location today. I hope you find this as interesting as I did. This is the prominent artifact, an ancient toilet. Oh, how much it reveals. Thank you.